If a guy has a sexual connection with a girl and like he was to use protection and just have sex with her for a night, like I literally wouldn't care if my husband did that. I don't know why.
That's a perversion of duty, biblically. The prescription is you are to make sure that your husband feels like a sexual being. And he, you. Feminists will declare her prescription liberating, progressive, and mine to be toxic. You know the Call Her Daddy podcast? Don't throw up in your mouth.
No. Too late.
Here's the thing, and I don't consider myself a part of, like the manosphere. People say red pill. I think when you throw in Andrew Tate and Fit and Fresh, and then you also include people like Andrew Wilson, who are deeply Orthodox Christians and believe, like, what does it mean? But I can tell you the term red pill. There was a documentary, a lady named Cassie J. You can go back to old episodes. She was on the show. She was originally a feminist. She set out to make a documentary, sort of, I guess, criticizing the men's rights movement, and realized that they had some legitimate grievances. It was primarily about custody rights. It was primarily about men in the workplace, some of the discrimination or some of the challenges that men face that are dismissed. And she was great. I had her on the show a bunch of times. As I understand it now, she has a family, and she's doing a lovely family, doing quite well. But the manosphere, when people point to it, let's just discount the bad, because there is some bad advice, but the bulk of what has seen a resurgence in masculinity is rejecting the label of toxic masculinity. And one kind of through line, one constant that you will find across all of these different sort of niches is work on yourself, become healthy, become fit, become wealthy as best you can, productive, confident, and then you will become the kind of person who will attract the kind of woman you would want. That, I think, is good advice for a lot of young men. And you've also seen a lot of young men simply checking out of the dating game, the dating pool. Why? Because they don't like what they're seeing. Okay. That brings us to women loving to point the finger at the manosphere as unbelievably destructive for young men out there. And then we'll compare it to the kind of content that you see in the woman's sphere, if that's a term.
These men are not struggling to communicate. They're not emotionally unavailable. They are learning how to control you, and they're calling it leadership, and it's working.
Suddenly it fell into place for me that these boys were being radicalized, that they were being groomed online by these communities extremely successfully and cleverly.
Every young guy that I've spoke to has talked about how it's really unavoidable. You look up any content that's sort of primarily male audiences, this manosphere, it's there.
Yeah, but there are far more people in the manosphere like men here. Let me be really clear. You need to be disciplined in body, mind, spirit. You need to set boundaries. You need to live out your values, be consistent. You need to set a plan in motion with actionable steps and go after it. And that should include the right woman and a family. Okay? That's the mainstream view. And reject the labels of toxic masculinity and this idea that women can do everything men can do and vice versa. Men and women are different, and that's okay. Become the man you want and find the woman you want. There are different ways to do that. Now let's compare this to female-based content. I will tell you this, the manosphere is a response to it, because female-centric content is not only just as bad as the manosphere they criticize, it's significantly worse, and it has been that way since the 1960s, certainly with increasing, I guess I should say, degeneracy, perversity in the last 10, 20 years. There is nothing of value that is being offered if you look at the largest female-centric podcast shows out there. You obviously know about The View, but let's go to some of the online podcasts. Those that are, racking up some big numbers. Here's the latest example. Nikki Glaser, comedian, had an interesting conversation on the Call Her Daddy podcast yesterday, and she has some advice for a lot of people out there.
I'm not someone who likes to hook up when I'm in a relationship. I'm not really I don't really care about that. But I don't care if someone else were to. Hold on. In fact, I kind of like it. It's a problem, I think. If a guy has a sexual connection with a girl and he was to use protection and just have sex with her for a night, I literally wouldn't care if my husband did that. I don't know why. I don't know why. If he were to watch The Wire with her or do crossword puzzles or text up, send memes and stuff, I would be what the are you doing? If you develop feelings for someone else, tell me and we'll deal with it. Like, I just don't want to be blindsided. But if you want to have sex with someone else, also tell me about it, because I want to like see what she looks like and like ask you about it. He's done some stuff. Yeah. He probably wouldn't appreciate me elaborating on that, but like there's been interesting things that have been like really fun for me to like hear about and experience, and fun for him too, because you know, you get older, he's 45, and I'm like, get out there, like know that you're a sexual being again. Like sometimes I'm like too busy to be really sexy, so I'm like, get out and get some attention.
Okay. So does everyone agree that was a prescriptive take? Get out there, do this. It's it's good. Find out you're a sexual being. Okay. Let me offer a prescriptive take, which would be criticized as part of the manosphere. Her prescription is have an open relationship. Prove that you're still a sexual person, because your wife doesn't really, I don't have time to. That's a perversion of duty. Biblically, the prescription is you are to make sure that your husband feels like a sexual being, and he you. I know people say, oh, that's rape. You literally are not to deny your husband, nor him you, specifically so that you may not fall into temptation, meaning it is your duty to have Olympic sex with your husband whenever he feels like it, and him you. If you abdicate your duty, then you go, yeah, so it's just as good to have sex with someone else. Feminists will declare her prescription liberating, progressive, and mine to be toxic, because it means control over women. Now, it goes both ways, but let's be honest, men usually have a higher sex drive, so it's probably something that would require more of a compromise from the woman. If Nikki Glaser took the biblical approach, it would be, my husband wants to have sex with me, and I want to make sure that he knows he is sexually desired and feels like a sexual being, because we should be that way until the day we die. Instead, go sleep with other people. Now, I will say this. It is true that women do tend to want men of value. That's something that they will deny through and through. If you say, well, you want a man, you don't just want a nice guy. There are plenty of men available to you. You have unrealistically high standards because you want the kind of man who other women would also want. They'll go, no, I just care about his personality. She just told you the truth. And she rationalized it by saying just that. And if you are not, I forgot, we went over time. So if you are not yet a member of Rumble Premium Mug Club, hey, that's what keeps the lights on. That's what keeps the investigative unit going. That's what keeps this whole show going, with very little sponsorship placement as opposed to 16 minutes per hour of broadcast. $99 a year, try for $9 a month. But if you join annually, you get this wonderful hand-etched mug. You're a part of the club, and you get 100% more show. We're going to continue with you. So, Nikki Glaser, who, by the way, her stand-up specials, 70 to 85%, not just about sex, about her nether regions.
Ugh. Vagina.
Yeah, gross vagina.
It's a lot of content about that.
Here she is saying the quiet part out loud that those in the feminist sphere routinely deny. She wants a guy that other girls want.
Maybe it's my competitive nature of like, I want a guy who other girls want. Like, I like something that is like, you want a handbag that other girls are like, oh my God, I'm dying to get that.
That's
like,
relatable. That is relatable.
It's like showing their value, that they are valued by other women. Because I respect women. And women's opinions. I do.
I don't.
Why?
Well, they don't respect you if they're sleeping with your man.
Yeah. And by the way, this shocked me. I have always maintained that a wedding ring is like a magnet to women out there. And guys, you can comment. You've seen it. You've experienced it. Well, there is a study actually that came out of Oklahoma State that is still surprising. So women are very competitive with other women. And very often, women think if they can supplant the wife, the girlfriend, that now they are superior to them. It is a group dynamic that you don't see across the board in the same way. Some men, sure, not all. But Oklahoma State, here's the research. They took a man, presented him to a group of women, and 59% of the women were attracted when they were told that this guy was single.
Right.
90% were attracted to the man when they believed he was committed.
I want to see what this guy looks like.
They did multiple guys, but it was the same guy. They controlled for the guy being different.
They controlled for it.
Okay.
So 90% women go, yeah, he's attractive when they were told he's committed, married or in a committed relationship. Only 59%. That's the only variable changed. So you can argue as to why it's the case. You cannot argue that it is the case. And again, this is a perversion of what God has created. Wedding vows are supposed to be forever. You're supposed to be committed. We're the ones who have destroyed that. And the idea of, you know what, I'm going to find my self-worth in the ability to steal someone's man, as opposed to finding your worth in a successful, happy marriage. Same thing with sex. I don't feel like it. So he can get his rocks off with another. All of this is a perversion, not only of your duties, but the moral. And they will condemn men who either point out the same thing and offer a different approach, or offer a prescription with different boundaries. If I have to pick between the manosphere or this, you know where I would line up, depending on who it is. Here's the other thing that she goes on to mention, and I don't necessarily know that I don't know that I agree with this, but it depends on the guy, and it seems like maybe she has a guy who wants to be decent, and she doesn't want to be.
Maybe I'm not enough, and I feel like he has to have more. But it's there's probably a sadness to it. But it's just what I'm into, and I can't help it. And I'm not trying to be cool. Believe me, when I've been single, guys are not into this. It sounds like a dream. Like, oh, I could date a woman and other girls. Like, that sounds like a dream. Guys really like to be like, they like girls to be jealous and to like kind of boss them around and like, I want you.
Right? You're like,
if
go
they're
ahead,
too
have
free,
fun.
they're kind of like. What, like they think they like it, but I assure you this isn't getting me guys like this. It's never like been a pitch for me to be like, look how cool I am, why don't you date me, because you can do whatever you want. Like, it doesn't, they don't like it.
Everything is about me. Yeah. I'm into it and I can't help it.
I don't think it's a matter of guys wanting a girl to be jealous of you. I think it's a matter of guys wanting to know that the woman wants me to be only hers.
Yes.
There's something so special about that.
It's like, reciprocal commitment.
You want to be my only woman? That is so hot.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly right. But here's the thing. These same women, remember when I was at the Change of Mind, I said, my woman? She said, that's possessive.
Yeah.
You know who likes it? My woman. You know who's possessive in that way? My woman. You know what turns me on? Her being possessive in that way. I don't mean jealous because Amanda Peach shows up. We watched the whole 9 yards again. And I'm like, she was
I remember that one very well.
But reciprocal commitment. I'm into it and I can't help it. Now, if a man were to say, I'm just into sleeping with a bunch of other women behind my woman's back and I can't help it. No, it's your job. It's your duty to help with it. It's your duty to help it. Here's the thing. We are called to certain prescriptions. Now, Nikki Glaser can't say that anything is right or wrong. She has no basis for it.
No.
Mine comes from a Christian worldview that is prescribed down to the letter. Help it. Help it.
Yeah.
Discipline yourself. This idea of I just can't help the way I feel. Sure you can.
You always can.
Sure you can. We do it all the time. Yeah. If we didn't, probably 80% of the female population would be strangled.
Not in a good way.
No, in a very bad way. Help it. We have constantly had to learn to help it. And the starting off point of these conversations always is, I just want this and I just can't help it. So how can I accommodate what I want? And it's toxic masculinity to say, no, we don't do it that way. Why? Because it's wrong.
Son of a, this makes no sense.
Hey, Jesse, what's wrong, man? Looks like somebody burnt your bagel.
Oh, well, I'm trying to figure out why my bank charged me 3 times for a super chat on YouTube.
Dude, first of all, ditch YouTube, go to Rumble. Second of all, just get the Rumble wallet. It's a non-custodial wallet with end-to-end encryption, keeps your crypto safe, like a crypto wallet.
Cryptid wallet?
No, hey, no, not cryptid, crypto. Crypto. What's a cryptid?
A cryptid?
Yeah.
It's a mythological creature, Josh. Kind of like the Mothman, Bigfoot, or even the Chupacabra.
No, crypto, which is real. Well, kinda. The point is, Rumble Wallet helps you to tip your favorite creators securely and quickly using cryptocurrency.
Cryptid currency.
Hey, no, not cryptocurrency. Look, I gotta go. Just get the Rumble Wallet, okay?
Yeah, okay. Rumble Wallet. Wow, it's perfect. Hey, you gotta get in on this.
Seriously, download the Rumble wallet and step away from big banks for good. No fees, no middlemen, none of the crap you have to deal with where you go in and they say you have some concierge account, but it's some guy who wants to tell you about Bitcoin and he's doing mining. Lyle, go to wallet.rumble.com today. And you can also support your favorite creators. Step away from big banks. Rumble Wallet.
Hey, come on, do the thing. Come on, dude. Just come on, do the thing. Just one time. Come on, do the thing. Let's.
If girls were to take advice from any of the mainstream female-centric content out there, they will live a life of misery.
Yeah, never follow this advice. It turns women into whores because that guy is in a committed relationship to somebody else and is just sleeping around. So everybody he's sleeping around with is just transactional. So you're perpetuating what you say you probably hate about men. And the other part of that is when a girl would say that, the guy's probably thinking, well, she's going to do that too.
Yeah,
I'm not signing up for that. I'm not signing up for you to go, well, hey, you slept around, so I can too. It's like, no. Like, that's not what men want. Men don't want a woman to sleep with other men.
Right. Yeah,
it's not the thing.
Yeah, it's like a cheat card in your back pocket.
Right. And of course, we'll get to all of this is a double standard, and that's why the manosphere exists. By the way, since you mentioned that, for reference, here is her boyfriend, the media producer, Chris Convy. And by the way, they've split up, got back together 5 times, so working like a charm.
Yeah, I'd say just dodge the bullet, man. Split up and be gone.
I think they're back together now. I don't know their status. It's like Ross and Rachel, who, by the way, was also a bitch. Think about that. He's like, oh, the man with whom you have a child wants to be an active father, but you want to work at an ad agency.
Didn't she become a lesbian?
I don't know if she did.
No.
Sort of? I don't know.
No, they got back together at the end. It was like the big...
Did they?
Yeah. He went to the plane. She was leaving, and he... It's not...
It wasn't enough of a payoff.
It's not important.
She was...
As you're talking...
But it presented it as virtuous. Like, if you have a guy, but guess what? You can have a kid with a guy and just keep him at arm's length. Right. No, the right thing would be to have the father involved in the life.
Yes!
Especially if he loves you and he wants to be loyal to you. Doesn't mean that he's perfect. Anyway, let's go back.
See, I don't believe her. That's the thing is, she's saying all these things, and I'm like, how much of this is just in jest because she's a comedian? How much of this is she exaggerating? I do not believe that she's okay with that. I don't believe that. I wonder how many times those 5 times they broke up, it's because he slept with another woman, and she was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How much? I mean, what if he's the a-hole and talked her into
But that's another thing, though, too, right? That's
maybe, but I doubt it.
That's another thing that we see. Women will go through hell, and they will give advice that will direct women through those same gates.
Yeah.
That happens a lot. Let's say that that's the case. She is giving advice to other women to do that. So assuming, okay, if she means it's bad advice, assuming she doesn't believe it, but she's justifying her own bad decisions, her own damaging decisions, women tend to give that advice out to other women because they feel better. Men don't. Divorce is the worst thing that you can go through.
I'm not the only one getting drunk alone.
Right. Divorce is a horrible thing. Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And the laws make it way too easy. We need a culture that makes it far more difficult. It's not lost on me. I can tell what some people are going to say. I get it. But you've never heard me say otherwise. Women will do that. Women will go through a divorce, regret it, use it as a threat, not mean it, face incredible regret, and still give advice to their friends to do the same thing. That may be what's happening right here. And then they go on to, again, just talking about the double standard. I have no problem with sex toys, by the way, okay? Just to be clear. But the way in which they discuss it, how men are not enough for women in the bedroom. Let's imagine putting the shoe on the other foot.
I bet a majority of the women who are watching today, if they are in heterosexual relationships, they're like, yeah, I would say like the past 8 times I faked it, unless you're with a partner who's like, I'm gonna go down on you for 20 minutes, then we're gonna get your vibrator out, then we're gonna get in it. Like,
bring toys into the bedroom, please God.
Double-sided dildo.
Men, I always say that don't be threatened by it, because it's like,
don't be threatened by it.
Alone is great, but your let's say you're a B+, like in terms of just sex with just us, and if my vibrator alone is probably an A.
Better.
But together, A+. I can't get to the A+ with alone. I need your too. So you're contributing to the A+
You're
still.
part of it.
You need to be there to make it an A+. Don't think it's just about the toy,
but
because
so
it's
does
not.
my vibrator.
But together, we can change the world. Together, toys need to be necessary. When women are having sex without toys, I don't understand it. And maybe I'm dependent on it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I want to be the old lineman who doesn't get any credit.
Yeah.
I just want to be part of the team, man. I'm the manager of the team.
There's a big difference between wanting to spice things up, try different things, right? Who hasn't incorporated a sexy nurse outfit? Although, in my case, she told me I had cancer.
Prostate cancer.
What?
With an exam.
We do the sexy nurse thing at my house, but that's just so I can fantasize my wife having a job. I'm sorry, honey. I had to do it. It was just silly.
It's perfect setup.
I do the sexy fireman, but I come in with a character actor with third-degree burns. I'm like, he's like, come my wife, I love her. I'm like, sweetie, you have to help. Get out. This is the We Were Soldiers fantasy.
The platoon fantasy.
The sexy soldier and army nurse fantasy. I'm going in with squibs.
You gotta stop the bleeding.
But imagine a guy just saying like, I just need to watch porn while we're doing it. Otherwise, I can't get off. How do you think women would feel?
Yeah, you alone, B+. You with porn,
yeah.
A+.
I need a toy because I need a toy because you're too loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need you to dress up like a nurse, and I pretend to be mentally disabled.
Yeah,
I need some shibs.
In other words, for a man saying you are not enough. Hey, how about this? How do women react when a guy says, you know what, you could work on your skills a little bit sexually? Any woman ever take that well? Ever? In this case, they're saying there is no world in which you are enough. Again, no problem with toys, because to be fair, toys do help. Yeah, like I get it.
I don't necessarily think that she's saying that, that a man is not enough. I think she's saying that her current boyfriend is not enough, which is how embarrassing.
For her to go out and say that too, yeah?
Yeah, your is a B+. Hey, thanks, babe.
Here's the thing too. When you
want me to go sleep with other women, they're all gonna know I have a B+.
I mean, even if you go through the
total of a vagina's a C, so now I guess we're even.
Go through the manosphere. Go through the manosphere. Take the worst offenders according to these people. Find me one example of even those people denigrating their current female partner, saying that she's not good in bed. I don't know that you'll find one.
Yeah.
It's every single show where women talk. They go, guys are pigs. Look, guys will talk about, hey, isn't that chick hot? Sure. But the in-depth descriptions that they will have openly regarding private details, it's just not something that's super common, particularly if a guy's in a committed relationship. It's a little bit different if it's a one-night stand, something like that. And that also brings us to, look, this is the only card they have to play. They will say, well, men do this. No, they don't. Men don't talk about women that way, and certainly not their wives or their long-term partners.
Certainly not in public either.
No,
I mean, first, not at all. Secondly, not in public.
Yeah.
You hear women talk about, his penis was weird shaped, or it was a little small, or,
right.
or too big, I guess. But you never hear a guy talking about, it was too stinky.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Nick DiPaolo would.
It was too close to her butthole, or something like weird
But they all say, well, men do this and stand up, so why? And these female comedians, it's like, I don't know if they're overcorrecting or it's just that it's just a culture of degeneracy. Let's look at Nikki Glaser, her comedy specials. The percentage of her material that either is directly about sex, her sex life, or her anatomy. First one, 2016, Perfect, 75% of it. Bangin' in 2019, 85%. Good Clean Filth, 70%. You'll find a guy who will make a joke about sex. He'll have some bits about it. But the entire show being about his penis or his anus, as this woman, it's just not something I would argue that you will find. And they'll say, we're doing it because we're being just like the boys. Any guy who is that obsessive over discussing their anatomy, you'd go, that guy's kind of weird. I don't really want to hang out with him anymore.
Yeah, you kind of get the idea he's going to pull it out.
Yeah. You're like, I think he's a sex offender.
Yeah, probably.
What, Noodles?
No, I was just going to say, you laugh at the first couple of jokes, and then it starts to get really awkward, and you're like, I don't like this.
No. You're like, all right, please stop.
Now I know it. I can smell it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
And it's usually, something clever. If you watch her special, she's like, enough about my vagina. Let's talk about my butthole. Let's not. How about we go another direction? And here's the thing, too. If you follow the advice, the prescriptions of men talking about, hey, be disciplined in body, spirit, and mind, and find that which is good, meaning a long-term relationship, a happy, a meaningful marriage, which comes with gender roles and boundaries for both of you, I think you'll live a happier life, and I think you'll look back and have fewer regrets. If you follow this kind of advice, you're going to end up like someone like Chelsea Handler, who, by the way, is 50-something, and she still wants to offer this prescription for other women.
I've never been very thirsty for a man or a partner. So like, if you've got to really kind of get my attention for me to pay attention in a serious way, because otherwise it's a bunch of casual encounters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that. I like traveling a lot. I like hooking up with guys. I don't like to get too serious. I don't want someone in my space all the time. My whole vibe is about freedom. I love the idea that I don't have to check in with anybody about anything I do. I don't have to consider or consult with anyone. If I want to get on a plane and go to Paris, which I will do in a moment's notice, I will go to Mallorca for a month and off by myself. You know what I mean? I'll do all of that stuff. You can't think of yourself as like, oh, I'm alone. You have to think of yourself as like, I'm free. I'm free now to make every decision I want for myself. You can do everything you want. You're going to have a really good time.
No. So let's break that down. Free means you can go on trips. Free means you can stay in a nice hotel. Free means you can drink, you can sleep in late. In her case, as many casual encounters as possible. Now, without getting into details, I know that men here had more casual encounters or more encounters than myself. Think of the best ones. Would you trade all of those for one Christmas morning with your kids?
Sorry, I'm still thinking. No, of course not.
How about one I love you daddy? It's not even close.
Well, that goes both ways, but I see what you're saying.
That does.
Even without kids, like one birthday.
One birthday.
Like one Valentine's Day, though I don't love it. Like for girls that maybe love that. Like one special date night. How about sharing that experience in Paris with somebody so you can talk about it later when you reminisce 20 years? You remember when we went to Paris?
Right.
You don't have that. Have yourself. Maybe make sure it's on the gram so you can go back and scroll through how good your life was by yourself.
One Christmas morning, one I love you daddy, one hug every day.
Yeah.
Coming home, running down the stairs and tackling me. It's the best.
Oh, yours doesn't follow with that?
And all the stuff that she's talking about, too, are things that you I don't want to say the word privilege because she's earned it. She had a career and she has money and she's earned it, I guess. Yeah. But most women don't have that same privilege.
No.
They can't just, I could just leave whenever I'm free. I'm not shackled up. Mm-hmm. Okay, but you don't really work anymore. Maybe you write or what. You can just do whatever you sleep in if you want to because you don't have to have a job because there's no man supporting you. Mm-hmm. And you have the money already. Like not every woman has this life. Most women don't.
Yeah.
I'd venture to say 90% or more do not have that ability to just travel whenever I want, get up late, not have to worry about kids. No, it's not that life. It's very solitary and lonely when you're working every day.
Yeah.
And you come home and there's no one there. And you know you have to go to bed early because you have to work the next day. And the same thing 5 days a week. And it's very lonely. And you come home and you're tired.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And every single one of us.
You want someone there with you.
Every single one of us here would be labeled a chauvinist, sexist, misogynist. The point that I'm making is, by the way, not all of the manosphere or the red, but they're separate things. There are traditional Christian men who believe that we've lost our way and want to correct society to encourage, foster, and improve the situation for nuclear families in this country, and birth rate's a real problem, okay? But even if you take the worst offenders, there still is something to glean from them as far as improving yourself, discipline, not relying on someone else for your own self-esteem. You can take some good and leave the bad, assuming you're taking the folks with whom you disagree don't share your faith-based worldview. For women, if you look at the mainstream, and by the way, that includes most conservative female content, I don't see any good advice to take from it. And we see those stats with more mental health issues, more SSRI. Young liberal women are the most mentally unwell demographic in this country, with the exception of trannies. But, they kind of go hand in hand. Oh, you're still here, which is a miracle in the age of Instagram and shorts. I think you have some shorts up there. You have an attention span that is longer than that of a fruit net. So thank you. I'm glad you probably would like it a lot more if you actually head over and subscribe on Rumble. I'm live there 5 days a week, 11 a.m. Eastern, where free speech is still alive. Go to Rumble. get off the social media ghetto that is YouTube, with a lot of homosexual activity here on YouTube. There may be some on Rumble, but I haven't seen it.